Hey guys, welcome to HKC 217 podcast powered by All Seasons Energy. This is episode 39 and this episode is sponsored by Rides R Us.
Yeah, Rides R Us. I've come on board for the 2024 season. It's a local bike dealership and repair shop as well.
Yeah.
Actually, like, not very far away from his house. Dave and the team have been absolutely amazing down at Rides R Us. They got Hudson's Free Tech bike ready for the Free Tech round 2, which were incredible. Got ironed out a few kinks in the bike.
Yep.
Really good.
Yeah.
So they can prep bikes, repair bikes, they sell bikes as well. So head over to Rides R Us. The link will be in the description for Rides R Us, and thank you for coming on board for 2024. So as we roll in, firstly, we will note that we are in a slightly different looking studio room. Sorry. So this room now has been changed over, so Hudson's got a new room, so we're in the process of getting that in place for hopefully the next episode.
Yep.
So at the moment, this is a different room, or slightly changed, decorated.
It's decorated, yeah. Got blue walls and a bit of pink in it for Alana.
Yeah, so this is his sister's room now. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. And we will be back, and we've also been delayed in doing a podcast for that reason, really.
Mm-hmm.
These rooms have both been out of action over the last month or two. So since then, as we roll in, we have been to Pembrey.
Yeah.
And we've also done the Free Tech Championship as well. Which
Wilton
was
Mill.
at Wilton Mill, which was a week later. So we're going to roll straight into that. It's going to be a bit of a quick episode, and you'll understand why when we get to the end of it. So, rolling into Pembrey, what do you think of going back to Pembrey for the first time in what seems to be 3 years?
3 years, 3.5 years. I was really excited. From what I can remember, it was really good, the track. So I was really excited to go there. Absolutely humongous, the track for the little bikes that we're riding around on still. But yeah, it's a really, really nice track, really nice and smooth. Lovely, nice opening, flowing corners, but yeah, really good.
Yeah, good paddock area. Really good, like rolling out of the pits, a proper pit straight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. And the last time you were there, were on your 90.
Mm.
So that, like I say, that were a few years ago. So you really enjoyed it there. So we went into practice day. Practice day worked all day. The weather was really nice.
Yeah.
It felt like between us, we got the gearing pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
So in between the team, so there was me, Tyler, Joshua, Hudson, Tyler, Joshua, and Caden. Kind of worked out the gearing pretty much straight away. Maybe changed it a little bit over the weekend.
By the end of practice day, we pretty much got it nailed in. I think we might have changed it by 1-2 towards the end of the weekend, just because it were just experimenting in the practice sessions earlier on in the morning. But we pretty much got it spot on, which is a good thing to do, because you don't want to be changing and switching all the way through the weekend. Yeah,
and we were kind of like looking at the lap times that I think the 160s were there last time, so it were an FAM round last time. Also, we had the 140 mini GP times to compare against, which a lot of them riders now have actually moved on to like other championships. So there were Harley McCabe. Who else were in there that used to be there? Dan Goodman, I think he used to race at 190. Joel Grieg, Lewis Mullen, he's racing in Europe. So yeah, there's like lots of other riders we could compare to. So we're kind of happy where we were Friday. Slight hassle with, I wouldn't say hassle with the suspension.
Yeah.
We weren't happy with the suspension, so we went and spoke to Harry from Ovalle.
Massive help from him.
Suggested a few things.
Yeah, we were umming and ahhing on which way to go suspension wise, because it both changed two different things. So we tried one and it felt spot on, and then we tried the other. It didn't feel as good, so we got the suspension pretty much dialed for that track. Yeah,
and so you're happy with that, and we were quite happy after Saturday. The practice day. I'm like looking forward. So also this round, it was only going to be racing on the final day, so it was going to be 2 races in each championship. So 2 races in the FAM, 2 races in the Mini GP 160 championship.
Mm-hmm.
On the Saturday, it was qualifying only, which kind of freed up a Saturday evening a little bit better, didn't it? We actually went to the coast, so that was pretty cool. So rolled into qualifying. I'll read through what is the race report, and then Hudson can reflect back on it, because obviously he knows what the race report says. So you were looking forward to qualifying. You're heading into qualifying, aiming to put a PB on the board. for every session. The pace increased as soon as qualifying pretty much started, and Hudson and Tyler were the only riders to get into the sub 106 in the FIM 160 category. Tyler got P1 with a 105.4, and you got P2 with a 105.5. So you were really happy with that. And then in the 160, you weren't 100% happy with what happened in the 160. You did a 105.8, so you didn't go faster, or you didn't put a time on that you could have done. So not quite match what you did on the 160 FIM qualifying.
Yeah.
But you got P4, and you're happy with that. You just know that you could have done a little bit better on that one.
Yeah. Late Friday we were lapping like early 106s, and then towards the very end of Friday, we were lapping 105.8. So I weren't really happy, and I thought I'd jump up in time and kind of level off what I did with the other qualifying. So I'm a bit disappointed with that.
But it weren't.
But yeah, it weren't too bad, the result that I got.
You were only a tenth off time, so we're kind of happy with that, and it was
Yeah.
lining itself up for a good bit of racing on Sunday. So we'll roll in and we'll go in race order on what happened. Again, I'll read through the race report, which you'll be able to find. You will maybe potentially see on his socials, but these are the reports that pretty much go out maybe 2 or 3 days after the racing's finished, and also we put them on here on YouTube and on his podcast, because sometimes you don't see them on socials. So into race 1, starting from P2, your Hudson and Tyler got off the line, but your exit wasn't great into turn 1. You lost the drive to Wilson. Wilson overtook you into turn 3. Then you got back into P2, and then
P2 up the inside of Wilson on the exit of the third corner, because Wilson had a little bit of a moment, so that allowed me through. And then we went past Tyler, is that right? Yeah, went past Tyler on the back straight, and then me and Wilson were flip-flopping a few more times, and then I got in front of him and pulled a little bit of a gap, which allowed me to get him out my slipstream essentially, which allowed me to pull a bigger gap, and I pulled it to about 4 seconds and maintained that up for the rest of the race and took home first.
Yeah, so during that race, Tyler come off, I think it were 4 laps to go, maybe 4 laps gone.
Yeah.
So you seen Tyler as you went round as well, which were disappointing for yourself, and obviously Tyler. You actually thought it were Joshua.
I thought it were Joshua initially.
Just because the livery were the same.
Yeah, all of his liveries are very similar. But luckily the bike was actually facing towards me on the track. So as I went past, I read the number and I seen it was Tyler's number. So unlucky for Tyler. It were a really easy mistake. I had a lot of wobbles on that corner. It's quite hysterical coming through there.
I wouldn't say it were a mistake.
It weren't a mistake, yeah, but it's quite easy to do. I had a few wobbles, and you're very on the edge of you're like on the limit all the way through that corner.
That was actually one of the corners that we talked to Harry about about.
Yeah, I had a lot of problems through there. Coming into there, my rear end is step out, so we stiffened up the rear so it push the wheel into the ground and give it a little bit more stability on the back. But it's super scary coming through there. You're like coming out of that corner at 62 mile an hour.
So it was a really high speed crash for Tyler, so really happy that it were okay, and he just got up from that, which we're kind of lucky, because again it were a really fast corner. So the results for that race was Hudson in first place, Wilson Dilts in second place, and Frankie Watson in third place. So going into where have I got here? We will roll straight into race 2 of the FIM, so we won't go in order. But race 2 of the FIM, so you started in P1. After your race 1 lap time of 105.3, you felt like you kind of had to just pull the pin a little bit, and hope riders were going to battle behind you.
Yeah.
There were a lot of slipstreaming going on that track. It was like it probably potentially gained you like 0.5 of a second.
Yeah.
If you were behind the right rider, you put in a 108.6 from a standing start, which is quite incredible, and then consistently every single lap you were mid 105s, which again I kind of like nerd out on the stats a little bit here, so obviously I could see the lifetime and I could see what he were doing. He were consistently putting in 105s, 104s, 105s, 105.6s, really consistent. Looking at the gap increasing from the pit board, and Tyler did really well actually. Tyler had to start in P5 and he got up into P2, but the battling behind a little bit helped you, and your first flying lap kind of helped you get away a little bit from them.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of have to pull the pin, and the group kind of separated into 2 packs, didn't it? Because it were Tyler and Joshua in the pack behind us, and then it were me, Arnie, and Daniel in like the front pack.
No, not Daniel.
Oh,
this
sorry,
this is
a different race.
But yeah,
you did get split into different packs.
Yeah, and like Joshua had a fantastic battle with Frankie Watson as well, which were really good. So the overall standings for race 2 was Hudson in first position, Tyler in second position, and Frankie Watson in third position. I believe that's where Frankie and Joshua kind of like do a point such and such over the line.
Yeah, it was very close over the line. Good battle between them two as well.
Fantastic battle. Well done to Joshua as well, because that's like Joshua in 4th there, but that was like one of his best results of the season. So, and well done for Tyler for coming from 5th and coming ultimately in 2nd.
Yeah.
So then we'll roll into the Mini GP Open races. So the 160 Open class. So these are like, there's Oval in this class with sealed engines, and also there's some 140s.
Some unsealed 160s.
Some unsealed 160s, but ultimately it's an open class.
An open class. You can have
a
range
lot of people ride in that class and they still kind of not adhere to the Oval rules, because you can do whatever you want, but a lot of riders are still on Pirelli tyres. Some riders are on PMTs, but ultimately ended up being one of the best races of the weekend this. So starting in the race from P4, you got off really well, you got into P2, and then Tyler got past you into P2, and then out of nowhere Arnie comes straight up the inside, took you both.
Yeah.
I don't know if it unsettled Tyler a little bit, that, or he didn't expect Arnie there, but on the live footage you can see it that Hudson kind of like takes, I wouldn't say advantage, but he kind of goes round outside of Tyler straight onto the back of Arnie. It
caught us both by surprise. It was a very good move by Arnie, came absolutely bobbing in. I didn't know how he got it stopped. I was screaming in my helmet like, he's not going to get that stopped, but he did.
And you can see these races like all on his channel. Every single race is on his channel with the GoPro footage, which is incredible. So as like Arnie come up the inside, and this is where I'll hark back to talking about a little bit of slipstream here, because the evidence is kind of clear here that Hudson chased Arnie there, and on them open 160s bike they were faster, and Arnie were faster on them bikes, and Daniel were faster as well. And you kind of pushed to your limit there. In the slipstream though, you did your PB lap, which were
a 105.0.
105 flat.
Yeah, 0.06 of flat,
Yeah, so pretty much a 105 flat. And that were kind of only because you were slipstreaming and trying to stay behind Daniel and Arnie.
Yeah, it was, you had to be careful you didn't make in a normal race on a on a low speed track, you could probably pull that gap back, but if you got out of the slipstream, then that pack could leave you, and then you'd be like in no man's land.
Yeah, so this were a really good race. Again, I urge you to go over to Hudson's channel where all the races are there, and you can see this were a bit of a ding-dong battle there. So Hudson kind of like kept up with Daniel and Arnie. Arnie got into the lead, Hudson got into second.
Yeah.
Then Daniel come up inside of you, and then you got pushed back to third. Arnie got scuppered. I don't know if it was this one where Arnie did actually finish this one in first position there, so he won the first 160 open race. You got scuppered.
I got scuppered a little bit, yeah.
So you were kind of like lining it up on the last lap to try and slipstream round on the final corner, and there was just a back marker there.
Yeah.
A little bit, not the back marker's fault by any means whatsoever.
Just an unlucky place where we came across.
You were kind of expecting to be able to go all the way around the inside. The back marker were literally, that's where they were. You kind of had to go a little bit out of the way, innit?
Yeah.
Over a bit of a drag race to the line.
But it were only like a quarter of a second that I roll off, but that quarter of a second matters drastically down that straight, so yeah. So
that was the 160 race 1 open, which were again I urge you to go and have a look in the
vlog.
Links in the comments. There's also a vlog obviously that you can watch there, and there's some footage on there, but you can actually watch the full race on Hudson's channel. Also you can watch it on the British Mini Bikes channel. Also you can watch it on the TDI Media Highlights channel, and you'll see all the onboard footage of them two battling it out. That were an incredible race, that one. Probably the best of the weekend, really.
Yeah.
So we'll roll into race 2 of the Open 160, which was... Sorry about that. So the Open 160 was... Where am I looking at? This one was... Oh, yeah, but... So in race 2, we started in P3. You got into P2. Arnie came past you in exactly the same place again. On the turn, 4, I think it is.
Yeah, turn 4.
So you thought, I'm going to try and tag up back Arnie again. P1 and P2 had pulled away a little bit. Tyler overtook you and put you into P4. You exchanged with Tyler a few times, 2 or 3 times, maybe 2 times.
I think 2 times. And then the gap kind of got a little bit bigger, and me and Tyler dropped out the slipstream of Daniel and Arnie, who were up in front. So they kind of had their own bubble, and then it were mine and Tyler's bubble. So we were battling, and then I was behind Tyler till the last corner. And I got a good drive, got a good slipstream down the start-finish straight, and got him on the start-finish straight to take 3rd place.
Yeah, so in the Open 160, you got 3rd, 2 thirds.
Yeah, 2
Which
thirds.
you're happy with?
Happy with. Really good result. Say my other results that I've got this year. But yeah, really pleased with them
I think that
results.
might have been your best results in the Open 160 as well, to be fair. I
Yeah.
think you have had a podium on the... I think you've had a second in the Open 160, maybe
I think
at
I've,
Raura,
yeah.
when you had a good battle with Arnie
Yeah,
and Frankie
Raura.
before.
And then 2 firsts in the FIM, which I'm really pleased with. My first firsts in the FIM this season.
Yeah, so happy with that. Double victory in both. So 2 second places in the FIM 160 and 2 third places in the Open 160. So that concluded that. Again, fantastic going down to Raura. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a bit of a trek down there, down to Pembrey. It's a bit of a trek down there to Pembrey, but kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Right, to go in back there later on with the free tech.
Later on with free tech, yeah, potentially, because the
free tech championship goes there.
Later on in the season.
So we'll fast forward another week. Again, this is a bit of a catch-up podcast. That we'll fast forward one more week, and then you were at Wilton Mill on the free tech round. So we'll come back from Pembrey on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then on the Thursday, I believe, we're on his way to Wilton Mill, which we will roll straight into Wilton Mill. So Wilton Mill was a double round, double-header round, so it was round 2 and 3. So you had 6 races there, and also you got invited to ride on the endurance bike there.
With the PowerTech team.
Pretty much summarising, unfortunately there were no live broadcast to do at the Wilton double-header round, but it were a grim weekend weather-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Difficult qualifying. You got pole on the first day of racing, so you got pole. Heat 1, very difficult conditions. You led from the start, and you kind of had to ease home. So on that Saturday morning, I think it were, or Friday morning, it were grim. Very difficult, very slippery at Wilton Mill, as everybody knows. Got a little bit drier for Heat 2. Tyler got the jump on you. You were kind of following Tyler for a lap, and you kind of thought he's going to crash in here because he were pushing a little bit too far.
Yes, he came up the inside of me. Well, he didn't come up the inside of me. He was in front of me. He braked a lot later than I did into a certain corner. And as we were coming in, I could see his front end going. And he took his front into the corner, but it was horrible conditions, super slippy on Wilton Mill. If any of you rode on Wilton Mill, it's slippery mill in the wet.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
Ideal. So then you got to the final on the first day. So Billy got a good start on you. You jumped into the lead, and then I think you overtook him towards Christmas corner. I think we have got a little bit of footage that on for the vlog for that one that's upcoming, because I've not had time to edit that. And then you just led, comfortable gap, just drying up a little bit by the time of that first one.
Yeah, the final, it was starting to dry up on that one.
Still on wets, though.
Still on wets, yeah. But the grip increased a lot compared to the last 2 races.
Yeah, the times were going down a little bit. I were actually saying slow, weren't I? Because you didn't really need to push that much. I think you had a 4-second gap. Some really good battling going on behind you as well.
Yeah.
With Billy and Tyler Sid unfortunately come off on race 1, I think, of that one. And he had to ride the
I think it
PowerTech.
was race 1, yeah. He had to ride the PowerTech bike, yeah.
Yeah, so after that, so to conclude that, so that were day 1, all the races done, and that were 3 victories. So first in the Free Tech Junior Talent Cup. Then we rolled into the next day. Total change of weather. It was sunny the next day.
Sunny.
Put some slicks on. Looked like it was threatening to rain a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It was
dry.
It was dry and it was humid, but yeah, the clouds weren't.
They were looming a little bit.
Yeah.
It ended up. Sorry, so to rewind on the after the junior races happened on the Saturday or the first day, they were meant for the rest of the afternoon.
So after the races on the Saturday,
Your junior race.
All my junior races, they had the 4-hour endurance race, which was for the street stock. Yeah, that's what it's called.
And they had it mint.
They had it really nice weather.
So they were actually changing all the tyres quickly to put on slicks.
Slicks, yeah. So
on the first day,
as we finished our final race, everyone was like rushing to get the tyres on for the start.
Nearly missing start.
Yeah, a lot of people nearly missed it. I think a few people did.
So that was good because we stayed there and obviously watched that, and obviously Hudson were racing the next day, and then the next day, so the next morning, start all again. You had to qualify again in the morning on slicks. Felt obviously miles better.
Yeah.
Qualified on pole again. Heat 1, much nicer, better weather. You were really happy with the win. In Heat 2, everybody was improving. Took the win with some fantastic racing happening behind you. And in the final, it was fantastic to share the podium with your BNB friends, which was Billy and
Sid.
And Sid, who ended up getting the podium overall there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just nice to race around Wilton Mill. It is a track that you like.
Yeah.
And to go from the rain, horrible, wearing a yashimak.
Wearing a raincoat, to
it being, well, we watched the England match.
Watched the England match, yeah, that
night.
Was
that on the Friday or the Saturday?
That was...
might be the Friday, that.
No, I think that was Saturday. But that was when we went to penalties. So.
No, that were on the first day, actually. That was on the first day,
We're on Friday.
Because you did... So after you finished that, so you're really happy with that. 6 wins in the Junior Talent Cup. Really happy.
Amazing results.
Some good racing on that bike. You really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Then, in between all this, you were practicing on the PowerTech Suzuki bike, which were fantastic. So that was a non-standard bike that Simon from PowerTech had got, and you were in a team with Simon's bike. You were a team with Wazza and Hudson Kenner and you. So that rolled in after. So there were a 5-hour endurance after that. So you had about an hour's break.
Yeah.
And then you rolled into the 5-hour endurance. So we knew this would come in, and you were really looking forward to doing it.
Yeah.
You had to do 35-minute stints on the bike. A lot more tactical than we thought.
Yeah, and then about 10-15 minutes before we're about to start, it absolutely bombed it down.
So it rained, yeah. So then it rained. So then everybody had the reverse panic on going from slicks to wets.
Yeah.
Everybody's changing to wets for the start of the race, and I'm thinking, what are they going to keep on wets? What are they going to do? I'm like, no, we changed tyres.
Yeah. I'm
like, wow, okay. Wow, this is like super 24-hour endurance. So yeah, in a band style,
on the third stint when I was It
was the second time I think you're on the bike, or maybe the third time you're on the bike.
Yeah.
The change to wet.
Second time on the bike.
To slicks.
Second time on the bike. So my first stint, it was fully wet, and then we were contemplating. We were in the pits contemplating if we were going to do a fuel and change the tyres, or just do the tyres. But yeah, we did a tyre swap, did a pit stop. You were actually quite nuts. We did it really quickly. And then as we were setting off, the start switch broke.
Got stuck.
It wouldn't click in.
It wouldn't engage.
It wouldn't engage, yeah. You push it in and it just popped back out. So we were trying to get that. We went about a lap down on that.
Yeah, all this were like an incredible experience because people had to. Again, I'm kind of blasé and like watching this. I did know this kind of stuff happened because we watched I think we watched 44 Teeth's 24 hour,
yeah.
Where were they there? Teesside. So like they come back, like it's a common thing. Like they go back to the pits and fix your bike, and then rejoin the race.
And it's nuts thinking about it because you think of it as a race, but it's it's an extremely long race.
Who else had we had to get his rain light on.
We had to get his rain light on.
Mecklem.
Mecklem had a problem.
They had to go way back and fix their rain light, and they wouldn't let him out.
Simon actually helped fix Mecklem's rain light.
So they lost a lap.
They lost about a lap and a half.
Oh my god, it was panic.
But
so
yeah.
like such panic. So anyway, so pretty much all the way through this 5-hour race, the PowerTech team were top two.
Top two were
top
second.
Top three. PowerTech were there.
Yeah.
As well. Sorry. Mecklem were there.
Mecklem were there at the start, and then Mecklem. I think Mecklem came third.
Yeah, Mecklem come third. Yeah.
But yeah, it
was
really,
really close. Got a bit of a lead on Mecklem. I don't know if they had another.
No, they just had the. They just had the problem with the start.
Yeah, that probably knocked them back a bit, didn't it?
That knocked them back a lap and a half.
So then you were kind of close to. I'm sure they were called Power A. I do apologise.
Power A, I think it were.
So then anyway, so like kind of like pans up and it's like building up and building up and building up, and then like Hudson kind of went out for a stint, and then it was fully dry. Then you put in the fastest lap of the whole race.
Yeah.
And then you like started nailing some laps. You felt super comfortable, and like we're like, wow, time's coming down. We're like catching this Power A team, and then Hudson Kenner went on.
Yeah.
Then he put in a fastest lap.
He put in a faster lap than me.
We're like, oh my god, we're like cruising here. So then you got the second fastest lap. Hudson Kenner got the fastest lap, and then Wazza went on. Yeah. Then he got the fastest lap.
So Wazza was the final stint. So going back to the start switch, we just duct tape it up. So if you're wondering about that, but yeah, Wazza was the final stint. I think we was about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, this all built up to like all three riders doing fastest laps, and as we went into the final stint,
it was 30 seconds.
There were 30 seconds gap behind the lead, so they were pretty much they were on the same lap.
On the same lap.
All three riders had put in the fastest lap of the race. All three of the team riders had got the fastest laps of the race. So you got third fastest lap.
Yeah.
Wazza had got second fastest lap.
Fastest lap.
Yeah. Oh no, Hudson
got second fastest. Wazza got the fastest because he was in final stint. So Wazza were absolutely bombing it round in this final stint. We're telling him to come on. This is like the time you want to be pushing. And the time we're going down and down and down, 25 seconds, 24 seconds, slowly going down. We're looking at laps, like we've got 11 laps left and we're at 18 seconds, and his time's drastically going down. And I think we got to about 11 seconds by the end of the race. So unfortunately, if we had an extra 10 laps, I think we'd have caught him up. But yeah, credit to Wazza, he was absolutely bombing it round.
Yeah, we were like encouraging him on, so like, you were like such a dramatic finish, and again it blew me away. I'd not really not known about the free take, but when you're involved a little bit in it, that you kind of you look at the stats, and it was 297 laps, and the top two teams were on the same lap.
Yeah.
Which
11 seconds between
which is incredible over 5 hours.
And to say that we had issues and everything, if we didn't have that, this is an excuse, but if we didn't have that,
I wonder if they had some issues. They might have had some issues. They might have had a long pit stop.
But yeah, if we didn't have that,
captive spacer fell out.
Imagine
all drama.
Imagine it like rolling away in pits.
I couldn't cope with stress.
No, like you're putting the wheel on and captive spacer rolls away into the middle of pit lane. Oof.
So like they had to do like a Le Mans start, which were pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the kids aren't allowed to do that. Kind of get that as well, because it's a bit crazy. So
it's a bit nuts.
Hudson Ken had to hold the bike for Wazza. You had to run across to the bike, start the bike, and start the race, and then through the pits. This was my job, is that you kind of have to like turn the engine off. So
you have to turn the engine
off, run
off,
the bike through the pits. Like just such drama. So really enjoyed
I'd come in and there were like a line where you had to turn your engine off, and if you went past that you get a penalty. So you brake, turn your engine off, I'd jump off, he'd run down to Wazoo or whoever we were going on to, let's say Hudson, then Hudson would get on, make sure, check the fuel, and then you'd go out and we'd have to bump start it out.
And stall it coming in.
Because the start switch.
So but yeah. It was super exciting, as you could tell. Like, I was super enthusiastic about it. It was good. Really enjoyed it. Like a kind of like perfect end to day. So you got second place in that. You're involved with podium celebrations. Yeah. Again, as I think the free take nailed that part. So you'd already done a champagne celebration on
for the
junior race 1 or the heat 1 or whatever you want to call it, and then the second round 2 of the juniors.
Yeah.
So you're really happy with that. Come away with 6 wins and a second place in endurance, in your first ever endurance.
Yeah.
And with hopefully we're going to be involved, or you've been invited to do the endurance again with Simon from PowerTech. So a massive thanks to Simon from PowerTech. Really appreciate being able to be in that team there. Like Hudson, absolutely, like wow, yeah, I'll ride that bike. We seen Alex there on the Friday, so he was coaching somebody, so that was pretty cool. So that was Hudson's academy coach. We actually did a few tweaks on the Friday that helped a little bit. That helps
a lot. I was struggling with brakes. We sorted out them. Alex had a go at him for putting in rubbish brake fluid.
Yeah, crap brake.
But yeah, we got some good brake fluid in.
Changed the discs as well. Discs as well. Sorry, changed the pads.
Yeah.
Massive thanks to Hudson Kenner, so he changed the spring. So it was a big change on the bike that you did.
Yeah.
He actually said it didn't feel better.
Yeah, at first it didn't feel better, but because it was such a drastic change.
Jurassic change.
I can't say it. But yeah, because it was such a big change, it was quite a shock to the system. But yeah, once I got used to it, it was a lot better on how it handled mid-corner. That's what I was struggling with, mid-corner, because my front had judder, and then it just starts spinning up on the rear. So overall, didn't have a lot of traction. So
yeah, and ultimately I did feel better. So we changed the front spring, the rear spring, the rear shock. We had that shock already, but it had the wrong spring in it. So it's got like YSS system on his bike.
And plus, I had my quick shifter this round,
so that
was
again,
really good.
Thanks to Simon. Fitting that as well, which he fitted after the T-side ride. So massive thanks to Simon from PowerTech. Massive thanks to Alex for helping out.
Yeah.
Come across and did a little bit of helping out where he could. He were actually going to do the endurance on Saturday.
And then I think he woke up. And
I bet he woke up and seen the rain on Saturday morning. No thanks. And also thanks to Hudson Kenner for helping out as well all weekend. Yeah. So he were incredible as again. So we really enjoyed that. Looking forward to going to the free tech round. Unfortunately, we're missing the free tech round this weekend because Hudson, he's got into the top three of the FIM Mini GP Championship, so we'll roll into this bit and then we're kind of done. Is that Hudson's been invited to the MotoGP at Silverstone as part of the top 3 riders in the 160 class and the top 3 riders in the 190 class.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to that. You're going to be going this weekend. Super excited.
I'm going to have a vlog for that.
Vlog for that. Paddock tour, VIP passes, on the stage.
See all the riders, interview on stage.
Paddock tour,
yeah, everything. Garage tour.
With Scott
Ogden, yeah. So you can have a good vlog on that. We're going to take you through the weekend.
Yeah, so yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe. The vlog is going unbelievably well at the moment. We're still at like just under 4,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube now, massive thanks for watching on YouTube. The vlog is ultimately the most popular thing that's on there. We just do the podcast because we enjoy doing it, and it's a good little recap to look back on. Make sure you hit all the socials, Hudson Kai Cooper on everything. And Shorts, Instagram, you name it.
TikTok.
I do it.
TikTok.
Apart from Snapchat, which he does.
That's not a social media platform, I told you that.
Oh, okay. I've been advised otherwise.
He's been evicted from it.
I'm not allowed in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out the vlog. Links will be in the description. Silverstone coming up next. Then we've got a super busy August as well, which is a mental August. Hudson doesn't even know what he's got in store for him. And that starts tomorrow. August starts tomorrow, and it's going to be mental. He's no idea the dates that we've got, what we're doing in August, but it's going to be incredible. So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.